Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another little Reaction Tuesday video where I react to the Monday night games and also react to a little bit of NFL Reddit. As you guys know, it's already very late in the day because I had to make NFL therapy today, so we're just gonna go right through my plugs and hop into it. So don't forget to use code Wyatt's World on G Fuel or Prize Picks where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 lineup after using code Wyatt's World at sign up on Prize Picks. But remember, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright, so starting off, we have the 6:30 snooze fest between the Titans and the Dolphins, where we saw the Titans get their first win. I gotta be honest, as soon as the second game started between Seattle and the Lions, I did not turn this back on one time. Dude, this game sucked until the third quarter, and the only reason it got better is because at least one of the two teams started scoring points. Right away, looking at the Titans, not only did we get to see my boy Will Levis throw a disgusting interception, but we also got to see him dive, miss a first down by a yard, and injure himself. After that, Mason Rudolph came in. As you can see, didn't really do much either, only topped out at 85 passing yards. Tajay Spears had a rushing touchdown. Tony P had a rushing touchdown, which I think was later in the game. Receiving was led by Tyler Boyd and DeAndre Hopkins, who had the same exact stat line of 2 for 31. And their defense, even though they only got to sack Snoop Huntley twice, only ended up allowing 96 passing yards and just over 100 rushing yards. Oh shit, Nick Folk went 5 for 5, 17 points too, damn. Looking over at the Dolphins now, Snoop Huntley had 96 passing yards, 14 for 22, but also had 8 carries for 40 yards in the rushing touchdowns. So you can see outside of him and Tyreek Hill, the running backs did absolutely nothing. Receiving obviously was pretty non-existent. And the defense, honestly, I like to think played a pretty decent game until the second half when it looks like they just melted down. Jordan Brooks had a good game. Manuel Ogbah had a pick. They didn't allow shit for pass yards. Just Tennessee's run game absolutely cooked him in the end. And anybody who's expecting me to sit here and rip on Mike McDaniel, I'm not going to this week because the world is finally starting to realize it and I'm letting them do all the talking now. All right, now moving on, we have the Lions finally beating the Seattle Seahawks, and don't let the score fool you. I think the game felt a lot closer than this looks. So right away on Seattle, Geno Smith, man, he threw his arm off his shoulder. 38 for 56, 395, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Offense on Seattle was absolutely dominated by Kenneth Walker. He had 3 touchdowns and 80 rushing yards. DK had 7 catches for 104. Lockett had 5 for 61. Jackson Smith had 8 for 51. AJ Barner weirdly had the receiving touchdown. And the Seattle defense, outside of 3 sacks, well, as you can imagine by the score, couldn't do too well. And I don't want to hear anything. Oh, we were hurt. We're banged up. The Lions are missing quite a bit too, you guys. You played a good game and I respect it. Don't make me lose respect for you by crying. Looking at the Lions now, Jared Goff was perfect. Actually, their passing was perfect. Amon-Ra was perfect as well. 1 for 1 with a passing touchdown. But Jared Goff, he was 18 for 18 on the day. 292 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. I mean, technically, he was actually better than perfect if you look at a quarterback's responsibilities. Jahmyr Gibbs dominated the run game. 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. David had 40 yards and a touchdown. J-Mo had 2 for 80 and a score. Sam Laporta had 4 for 53. Amon-Ra had 6 for 45 and a score. Obviously, Goff's receiving touchdown at the bottom there. And defensively, they were able to sack Geno 3 times and pick him off once. But it should be no secret that Detroit, your defense still is just leaky. Yet, even when it is extremely leaky, how many teams are gonna throw up more than 42 fucking points? Detroit, I'm proud of you guys. I'm happy you got it done. And what a legendary game by Jared Goff. All right, moving on to the Reddit portion of the video, and Seattle fans, you might want to look away because this is a little bit grueling. Last night, Seattle gained 38 first downs and still lost. That is the most first downs gained in a loss in NFL history. That is brutal. Here's kind of a funny piece of news about the Lions. Dan Campbell said he didn't realize Jared Goff was perfect, and he gave the game ball to somebody else. I like this comment right here, story of Jared Goff's life, and it's true. Not even his own coach realizes how fucking good he is. Here's an interesting piece of news on Davante Adams. He was asked if he's played his last down as a Raider and said, all I can control is the next thing that I'm onto. So even though he didn't necessarily say he wants to leave here, he isn't denying it either. He's just saying all he can control is the next thing he's onto. Oh, that kind of sounds like he's referring to the Raiders in past tense, doesn't it? Just don't go to the damn Jets, buddy. He's going to the fucking Jets. This is kind of interesting. The Jags are now the NFL's only winless team at 0-4. Who could have saw that coming? Like, really? Did anybody actually think the Jags were going to start off 0-4? Like, I mean, I don't think they were going to be a Super Bowl team by any means, but I didn't see them being the only winless team in the fucking league. And this guy comments, take 4, crossed out, tank with Trevor. Oh, Reddit. This is impressive. Mike Evans joins Hall of Famers Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith as the only non-kickers in NFL history to lead a franchise in points scored. Well, that just further cements his first ballot Hall of Fame status, which I already think he's locked into, if you're asking me. Oh, here's a wild piece of news on Christian McCaffrey, dude. So this says he has Achilles tendonitis in both of his legs. And if you look further into this, Kyle Shanahan knows about it, and it sounds like he's known about it. During the time, he's had it in both of his Achilles tendons, Shanahan said on a conference call with reporters. I think it started in one, then you overcompensate on the other. Mainly one has been bothering him, but he's had it in both. Okay, so twice he says it in this statement. He's had it in both. And then ending, he's had it in both. Had. Again, past tense, meaning Shanahan previously had known about this issue. Why was it not brought to light? Free Waggle ad, by the way, use code Wyatt's World. But seriously, CMC is dealing with a calf injury. They say nothing about it until the start of the season, like right before the start. But now it's coming out that not only are one of his legs bothering him, but both of them are. Like, what's next? Are we gonna find out the guy has a broken fucking collarbone? Words, Kyle, use them. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about Tyreek. It says he has now gone 3 straight games without reaching 50 yards for the first time since his rookie season. Now, obviously, a part of this would have to do with the injuries relating to that team right now, but it's going on to a bigger picture where people are starting to ask, did Tyreek make the biggest mistake of his career going to Miami? That was actually the discussion this morning on First Take, I think it was. And Shannon Sharp, he made a good point. He says from a monetary standpoint, Tyreek, he was looking after generational wealth. He was looking after, well, what we think, setting up his family and his kids and their kids, and, that's generational wealth. But from a career standpoint, yeah, the guy has been throwing up incredible numbers every season since leaving Kansas City, aside from this season. Yet if he would have taken a smaller contract, his hand would have a lot more rings on it. And that's where the point's being brought to when people are going to look back in time and look at how great he was all time, top 5, top 10. Well, it would sure look a lot better to a guy that has a lot of Super Bowls versus a guy that just has one. Still impressive, he's still elite. But from a career standpoint, him going to Miami, it might have actually been a bad idea. And now ending with just a funny piece of news here. Joe Flacco just said the Browns never made him an offer in 2024. The article right here just says Joe Flacco has reiterated in a post-game call that he plans to play as long as he can. Flacco explained that he was interested in the Colts because of his shared time in Philly with Indy coach Shane Steichen, and more importantly, Flacco said the phone exactly wasn't ringing off the hook. It definitely didn't ring from Cleveland, he said. They made him no offer to return for 2024. And down here at the bottom, it's funny because PFT states a reason as to why they think Cleveland didn't call Flacco, and I think they're 100% right. Flacco did too well last year. This year, the Browns would be clamoring loudly for Flacco 4 games into another unimpressive showing from Deshaun Watson, and that's exactly what would be happening. Like, I'm sorry, Brown fans, but once a week, it seems like there is just something new coming out that is allowing people to make a laughingstock out of you. This being the latest. The guy that gave you a season, the guy that brought you to the playoffs last year, didn't even receive an offer back. Oh, fuck off. Anyway, guys, that is going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys appreciated it, and if you want to show support, please do it because I appreciate any and all help. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and as always, I will see you in the next video.